Now to the global manhunt for Houston banker Alan Stanford. He disappeared after being accused of a massive $8 billion fraud, which could affect some 50,000 clients from all over the world. Our chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross is here with more tonight.
George, Alan Stanford was a billionaire banker who promised investors their money would be safe in certificates of deposits, CDs. U.S. authorities now say it was a scam that could rival the Madoff affair, carried out for years by a man with lots of friends in Washington. Today, investors on 6 continents tried to find out what, if anything, was left of the billions of dollars they invested with Stanford. This was the scene on the Caribbean island of Antigua, where Stanford's operation is headquartered. Stanford recently boasted to the BBC of his spectacular financial performance.
We've been able to grow our business in usually down markets.
But in its complaint, Securities Exchange Commission lawyers say that growth, a steady 15% a year, was a lie. Something the SEC learned only after 2 former Stanford brokers in Houston, Mark Tidwell and Charlie Rawl, came forward last year and blew the whistle in a lawsuit.
The published returns that many advisors used to present to clients and prospects, that we knew that the information was incorrect.
They would lie about it, and that behavior just became more and more prevalent.
U.S. Marshals today were hunting for Stanford, who until recently was hardly camera shy, living a flamboyant life as one of the world's richest men. Just last May, he was profiled on CNBC.
Is it fun being a billionaire?
Well, yes, I have to say it is fun being a billionaire.
As law enforcement officials raised questions about him over the last 10 years, Stanford spent some $8 million in Washington on lobbyists and campaign contributions. Like most of the embarrassed recipients, Senator Bill Nelson, a Florida Democrat, said today he would give the $47,000 he received from Stanford to charity.
I've instructed my campaign to return every dime.
The website for Stanford's firm shows video of Stanford at the Democratic convention this summer, being hugged by Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and thanked for his sponsorship of a big event by former President Clinton.
And I'd like to thank the Stanford Financial Group for helping to underwrite this.
The National Democratic Institute, which invited Stanford to speak, now says it had no idea his company was suspect. The SEC fraud complaint may be the least of Stanford's worries. Federal authorities now tell ABC News that Stanford is under investigation by the FBI in connection with an alleged money laundering scheme for Mexico's notorious Gulf cartel. Authorities say the SEC action against Stanford may have complicated that federal drug investigation, George.
And he is still on the loose. Brian Ross, thanks.